Hi guys, today we are going to study factorization by using quadratic formula, which is actually the third method of solving a quadratic equation. But before solving a quadratic equation using a quadratic formula, first we will take a look upon what actually is quadratic formula. So let's say we have the standard form of quadratic equation that says ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So we start solving this equation by simply using completing square method, which we have already discussed in my previous video. Here we will just apply that method to find the quadratic formula. So first of all, dividing this quadratic equation by the coefficient of x squared, we get the result as it is. Now we get x squared plus b over ax plus c over a is equal to 0. Shifting the constant term to the right hand side, we get x squared plus b over ax equals to minus c over a. So now we multiply the coefficient of x by 1 over 2 and then adding its square on both sides, we get b over 2a whole square equals minus c over a plus b over 2a whole square. So next we try to solve it further. We get x squared plus b over ax plus b over 2a whole square equals minus c over a plus b square over 4a square, since we had 2a whole square in the denominator. So now we make this left hand side into the form of complete square. We get square of the first term plus 2 multiplied by first term into the second term plus b over 2a whole square. Here we can see that the middle term that we had made is the same in the previous step. Just we had written it in the form to make the square of the left hand side. Here we get minus c over a plus b square over 4a square. On the left hand side we get x plus b over 2a whole square, and on the right hand side by taking LCM we get 4a square, and here we get minus 4ac plus b square. So since now we have to find the value of x, which is in the form of square, we apply square root on both sides. Before solving that, we arrange our right hand side, which says b square minus 4ac over 4a square. After applying the square root, we get x plus b over 2a whole square square root equals plus minus b square minus 4ac over 4a square. Now applying the square root on both sides, cancelling the square and the radical sign, we get x plus b over 2a on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we get plus minus b square minus 4ac over 4a square. So further solving, we also shift this b over 2a on the left hand side or the right hand side, since we have to find the value of x, we get minus b over 2a plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Since the square root of 4a square is 2a. Now since the denominators are same, we can solve it further as minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. So this formula here is said to be the quadratic formula. So in case you have to derive the quadratic formula, you just have to apply the completing square method on the standard form of quadratic equation. So here we come to know that the a here is actually the coefficient of x square, this b here is actually the coefficient of x, and the c here is actually the constant. So while solving a quadratic equation, you just have to find the values, or you have to locate a, b and c and simply put these values in quadratic formula, and you can simply find the value of x. So now I am going to solve an example using the quadratic formula so that we can understand this formula in a better way. Here we have a quadratic equation, 3x squared plus 8x plus 2 equals to 0. Make sure whenever applying quadratic formula, you have to make sure that your quadratic equation is in standard form. So since comparing it with standard quadratic equation, that is ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, we get a equals to 3, which is the coefficient of x squared, b equals to plus 8, which is the coefficient of x, and c equals to 2, which is the constant term. So simply now applying quadratic formula, which says x equals to minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. So now putting the values of a, b and c, we get x equals to minus 8 plus minus square root of 8 square minus 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 divided by 2 multiplied by 3, which is the coefficient of a. So I'm going to solve it here. We get x equals to minus 8 plus minus square of 8 is 64 minus 4 times 3 is 12 and 12 times 2 is 24 divided by 2 times 3 is 6. So solving it, we get x is equals to minus 8 plus minus square root 40 over 6. Or simply we can say that x is equal to minus 8 plus minus 4 times 10 over 6. Or we can say x is equal to minus 8 plus minus, since the square root of 4 is 2, and we can write square root 10 by 6. Further solving this equation, x equals to minus 8 plus minus 2 square root 10 over 6. So since here we can see that here we have two terms, one before this plus minus sign and one after this plus minus sign, and we can see that 2 is common in both the terms. So we take out 2 as common and we get minus 4 plus minus square root 10 over 6. Here we can cancel 2 and 6 and we get minus 4 plus minus square root 10 over 3. So in this way we get two roots or two values of x. We can write the solution set as -4 plus minus square root 10 over 3. So in this way we have solved the quadratic equation using quadratic formula. That had made our life much easier. So that's all. Thank you, and if you like the video, subscribe to it and give your suggestions. Thanks.